This incident happened over a year ago, and it still bothers me. I work in a department store and have to deal with drunk customers who sometimes even try to start pillow fights with me while I am stacking around the store. But there was this one guy who terrified me. Let me describe myself. I am around 5 feet 11, kind of chubby but by no means fat. I have red hair, but my bangs and 2 streaks of my hair are a green-teal color. On this particular day, I wasn't wearing a full face of makeup. All I had time to do was some eyeliner. I've got a baby face, so it's hard for people to guess my age. This guy, who I would say was about 6 feet 2, walks up to me and asks if I can help him. He's got a slight accent, but I can't place it, kind of like an English accent, but it's just off. He's got grayish-white hair and a goatee. He's husky, a little fat, but overall just generally big, at least twice my size. He's also wearing a thick coat, but it was an unseasonably warm and sunny day without a cloud in sight. He starts asking me about men's clothing, but he's talking under his breath, so it's hard to hear. So I lean in to hear him a little better. I think he's just asking where that department is, so I proceed to point him in the direction of the men's department. Then I hear him mumble something else, this time sounding displeased, about young men's. If you're looking for young men's, that's in the front corner, I say. He cuts me off mid-sentence, and his whole demeanor changes. He raises his voice. What do I look like? A young man to you? What are you, like 15? Then he scans me up and down, almost as though he were checking me out. As if that outburst hadn't even happened, he starts mumbling again, and I can't quite make out what he's saying. All I hear is that he's talking about my hair. It was like he was thinking out loud, but I didn't realize it. Then he says he has to use the bathroom, but once he's done, he wants me to help him find a dress shirt, and he wants it to match my hair. I politely say, okay, and give him a fake laugh and smile, not knowing what else to do. As soon as he starts to walk away, I bolt to the other end of the store. I was already panicking because that encounter was just uncomfortable, so I'm trying to avoid him when a couple asks for my help. I'm helping this couple, and they of course dragged me back down to the end of the store where this guy is still waiting. In that time, one of my co-workers had the pleasure of talking to him for a moment, but he told her he didn't need any help. He was just standing there. So I'm helping the couple still, and I walk past him, and he kind of shouts at me in an angry tone. It was quiet enough, but also too loud to be mistaken for a normal indoor voice. He said something along the lines of why was I ignoring him even though I had agreed to help him. That's when I really noticed his size and the way he shifted his body as he took a step towards me. I felt like he was threatening me, and I knew if he lunged, I wouldn't stand a chance. I tell him I wasn't ignoring him, and I was just helping. After the man left the store, the writer ran to the back office and waited until it was confirmed that he had indeed left. She was still shaken from the encounter and her legs felt like jelly, but she kept moving as if her life depended on it. After waiting for about half an hour, she went back out to finish her shift. When her shift ended, she waited around for another half hour until she could walk out with someone else. The woman she walked out with had also encountered the man by the register while the writer was hiding on the other end of the store. The woman thought that the man was drunk. The writer is still currently working at the same store and has not seen the man since the incident. She hopes that she never sees him again. The encounter still bothers her, even though it happened over a year ago.
One would assume it to be a safe location, but these days, one can never be too sure. Creepy individuals are everywhere, and I can't help but feel uneasy at the thought of another encounter with a particular man. I work at a kiosk that sells peculiar types of jewelry. Typically, our customers are teenagers, young adults, and sometimes older adults. The man I am referring to is quite recognizable. He dons the same leather jacket with crinkles at the corners of his eyes, and one of his front teeth is shorter than the other. He has the same slouched way of walking. Generally, he poses no threat, but lately, he has made me extremely uncomfortable. I greet every customer with a friendly "Hey, can I help you find anything?" And most of them reply that they are just browsing. He always smiles at me and replies, "Just looking, darling." Initially, it didn't bother me, and I thought he was a harmless man in his 50s. He usually spends a significant amount of time looking at our display but never makes a purchase. I mostly work the night shift at the kiosk, and while there are other shoppers and kiosk workers around, my kiosk is situated between two empty ones at the back, and I'm usually left alone. The only stores I can see are a Reebok and a Macy's. A few nights ago, I was sitting in my kiosk feeling bored and waiting for the end of my shift. The security lady had already passed by and continued on her way. I had scrolled through Reddit and was about to open Netflix and continue watching my show when I heard footsteps approaching. I looked up and saw the creepy man staring at me, but not actually at the kiosk yet. Good evening, I told him.